Today we're taking a look at a brand that is hand assembled here in the United States, right outside of Detroit. The brand owner is a huge fan of Seiko, and he loves to make homage watches to those Seikos that are really hard to get. Today we're going to take a look at an homage to the Seiko Speed Timer, Seiko's first automatic chronograph. I have all 4 colorways of this watch to show you, so let's flip the camera and take a look at Detroit Mint's homage to the Seiko Speed Timer. All right, well, here we go. I have all 4 versions to show you guys. I have the blue dial, I have the black dial, I have the silver dial, and then the gold dial, or better known as the Pogue version. And then all of these come in a watch roll. That watch roll is a 3-slot watch roll. It's made out of canvas. It has a red microfiber interior, signed Detroit Mint. It comes with a strap changing tool and an extra strap. So it comes on the H-Link bracelet, but you also get this single pass-through NATO that is sort of blue and red. You have a red stripe down the middle. Really nice package, especially considering the price. And I always say that, but that is very, very important. Before we get into it, I do want to mention that my hands are still pretty messed up because I am healing from a dog attack. My son was being attacked by a dog. That dog actually broke his arm. He needed surgery. He is expected to make a full recovery. However, my hands got messed up in the process as I was getting that dog off of my son. I'm almost healed, but we are still on that road. Anyway, I do want to mention that just because I don't want you to think that my hands are this messed up at all times, just in case this is your first time joining us here on Watch Chris. So here is the black dial variant. Now, I immediately will say that these are not a direct homage to the Seiko Speed Timer. Now, the Seiko Speed Timer was Seiko's first automatic chronograph. That did not have a dual register layout. This does. That's because this is powered by the VK61 Mecha Quartz chronograph from Seiko. So obviously this is a Seiko homage, but it's powered by a Seiko movement, which is pretty cool. And also the case is a little bit different, I think. The bracelet is definitely different. So they put an H-Link bracelet on here. And I believe the original did not have an H-Link bracelet. And this is a thin H-Link bracelet. It has friction pins, and then you have a generic micro brand buckle. It is signed Detroit Mint right there. You get 3 positions of micro adjust. It is partially milled, as you get with most micro brands these days. And then this portion is, I believe, pressed. You get milled end links. And then of course they give you a strap changing tool so that you could change the straps on this pretty easily. It's also got a really nice case back. There's a race car on there. It's polished, bead blasted, and brushed. I'll do a close-up so you can see what I'm talking about. Really nice case back. 100 meters of water resistance, and they actually double gasket the pushers. So really nice action on these pushers, and it flies right back to the 12 o'clock position. Beautiful watch, really. And then you have applied indices. Those are filled with Lume. Usually Detroit Mint do a good job with Lume. I have no idea if this has good Lume or not, but we will do a Lume shot towards the end. That's the black dial variant. You get a black bezel with red in it. So you also have red accents on this watch. Then here is the blue variant. So it's a very dark blue dial, and then you have a dark blue area of the bezel, and then of course red, and then you have red accents again. All of these get a sapphire crystal that I believe is flat, although it could be slightly domed, but I believe it is flat. Also, another difference between the Pogue or the original Speed Timer is that you would get day-date usually. These only have date. So that is something to mention as well. That 100 meter water resistance is also due to the fact that you get a screwed-in crown and screwed-in case back, which is really great when you're considering that this is a chronograph. 100 meters of water resistance is excellent. And again, I'll just do a little bit of the chronograph action on here. Really great chronograph action from the VK61. They do a great job. Very quickly, I'll do measurements. Let me just show you the gold version, then I'll show you the silver version last. That has the additional strap that it comes with, that is the single pass-through NATO. So this is the gold version. You're getting gold hands on here. Again, red accents. This gets a light blue bezel with red as well. All the cases are exactly the same. They all measure in at 40 millimeters. Thickness on these, kind of thick, on the thicker side considering. So 14.2 millimeters, but you do get 100 meters of water resistance. For a chronograph, that's really not that bad. Male end links on here, but really not a terrible lug to lug of 45.1 at the case, and then at the bracelet 52.6. So this is a strap monster, so you could really put this on any strap. They provide you the NATO strap, but you could really go with almost anything. This H-link bracelet is very nice, and the watch in general is a very weighty watch, especially considering it's a quartz movement. Gold dial, again, applied indices. They all have a steep chapter ring, and on that chapter ring is a minute track that is printed, and you also get a little triangle at the 12 o'clock, which looks really good, and they all align really nicely, unlike most Seikos, but there you go. And here it is on the NATO strap. This is a silver dial. I chose this watch to put the NATO strap on because I thought it looked really good. The colors go really well with this silver dial. It's almost like a silver, bright white, bright silver dial, which looks good. Again, you get that red accent on the chronograph hands, on the chronograph running seconds, and then it says Detroit Mint right around the 9 o'clock. And I believe this is called Speedy, so it's red right there. That's the name of this actual watch. Let me measure the crown. Also, the crown is also signed, and the crown is actually pretty big on this watch. 6.4 millimeters, kind of makes sense. So really nice big crown. Very quickly, let me throw one or two of these on my wrist so you could see what they look like. But before I do, I'll talk about price, and I'll also show you the watch that I have on my wrist. So these are $245 for the package that you're getting. So you're getting a watch, you're getting it on an H-link bracelet. You also get this strap, you get a strap changing tool, and then you get the canvas watch roll as well. $245 is a really good price for that package, and you're getting a really nice watch, in my opinion. These are very, very good looking watches because the original watch was very good looking as well, even though these are not direct homages. So in other words, they look a little bit different, but I think in a good way. Anyway, very quickly, today I have on another Detroit Mint, and this is a really interesting watch from Detroit Mint. Now, a little while ago, they did an homage to a Citizen chronograph, the Citizen Bullhead, and they made a few different versions. So they made a Bullhead version, and then they made sort of more of a traditional chronograph version, like a tonneau shaped case. But what they did with this is, and that was also powered by a VK61, I want to say. I don't remember exactly the number. And then they also made ones that were powered by, I believe, the Seagull ST19. And what they've now done is used a clone of a Valjoux 7750. So this is essentially a Valjoux 7750 that is made in China. Very similar to what other brands are doing with ETA clones that are made in China. This is what this is. And I have to say, I am impressed. This is pretty cool. The action on here is very, very similar to what you get from a Valjoux 750. So you're getting an automatic chronograph that is based on the Valjoux 7750. Pretty awesome. And I hope that eventually that movement makes it into these speed timers. That would be really, really cool. So very quickly, I'm gonna throw the black one on my wrist very quick. These are not fitted to my 7.5 inch wrist, but you can see these look great. These look really good on my 7.5 inch wrist. The only thing I would say is I wish that the bracelet tapers. I always say that, and I could do without the date, but again, those are complaints that I have about every watch. But you know, for $245, you really can't go wrong with these. This is a really good price. So that's the black variant. Let me show you the gold, and then I'm going to show you the one with the NATO strap on my 7.5 inch wrist as well. It's a single pass-through, so a little bit better. There's the gold. That one looks really cool. It's a little bit brighter than the Pogue as well, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looks pretty bright, that dial, that gold that they used here. Very, very nice. Very quickly, last but not least, is the silver dial. Actually, I would say that the silver dial, which usually is not my favorite color, I think out of all of these is probably my favorite, because the silver is very, very bright, almost like a bright white silver, and it looks really great. So I always have problems putting a NATO strap on, but there you go. This NATO strap is signed Detroit Mint on the buckle. It has like a little, I don't know, I guess crown shape to it, as you can see. There you go. This looks really good on my wrist. I really like the way that this one looks a lot. I think it looks phenomenal. There you go. I have 7.5 inch wrist. This is 14 millimeters thick, and the case size is 40 millimeters. So that gives you an idea. And then of course you have a 45 millimeter lug span. So this does wear a little bit smaller than its dimensions. On the bracelet, it wears pretty much the same as a 40 millimeter watch. I would say it wears like a 39 millimeter watch on my wrist on a strap. So very quickly, I'm gonna charge these up and we'll do a lume shot. Well, there you go. Lume is decent. It's not incredibly applied to the hands and indices, but it's decently applied to the hands and the indices. I think evenly applied between the two. You just have lume on the non-primary indices and then lume on the hands. So it is fading pretty quickly. I wish they put a little bit more lume on here. That would have been really good. But usually Detroit Mint do a good job with lume, I guess, because of the tiny indices that are on here. They're applied, not a lot of lume on there, so they are fading pretty quickly. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. What do you think of these watches? What do you think of what they did here? Not a direct homage. I like that. I think a lot of brands sort of try and get every detail exactly the same, and what they did here was essentially not do that. They didn't try and get every single detail exactly the same, and what they did was make a watch that looks like the speed timer but isn't a real copy, an exact copy of the speed timer. I think it looks great. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog, all one word. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.